Hi everybody, this is Neva Avery and I'm the Wellness Services Manager at UNC Wellness Centers. I'm also a personal trainer and group fitness instructor. And today I'm going to bring to you fitness in 5 minutes or less. This is going to be a push-up tutorial. So I'm going to talk about 4 different things. 1, body alignment. 2, the position of your elbows in a push-up. Number 3, the execution. And then lastly, some progression. When we do push-ups, we want to keep our body in a nice straight line, whether we are doing push-ups on the floor or if we work from an elevated surface and our body's at an angle, we still want to try to keep that nice straight line. I will use the incline push-up as an example here. So we don't want to have our hips poked up in the air where we're in an inverted V position. We also don't want to have the hips sagging forward, that's putting strain in the low back. Another thing I sometimes see is an arch in the low back and the tail pointed up and the shoulders shrugged up by the ears. Just kind of sometimes a sign that what we're doing is too challenging or we're not being aware of our body position. So we want to draw those abdominals in and up. We want to point the tail towards the heels and engage the glutes. So we should engage and squeeze the glutes as well as the thigh muscles and the abdominals. And from here, looking forward slightly so the back of the neck stays long. One thing I typically see as well is people looking at their toes while they do a push-up. So their heads drop down, and sometimes what that also will do is create a rounding of the back. Okay? So we want to look forward slightly, keep everything engaged as we move through that push-up. This body alignment is important because a push-up is essentially a moving plank. Your body's in a nice straight line. The only thing that we are moving are the elbows. So let's talk a little bit about the elbow position. So in a push-up position, the hands are a little bit wider than your shoulders. And as we bend the elbows and lower into a push-up, we don't want to have our elbows flared out to the side, right in line with the shoulders. We actually want the elbows to point towards the rib cage a little bit, having about a 45-degree angle. So if I were to stand over somebody as they do a push-up, what I want to see is their body in a straight line and their elbows angled out to the sides. So it creates kind of an arrow position. And that's your goal when you're doing a push-up, is kind of having that arrow position in the body as opposed to a T. Okay? Next, if we talk about execution, as I mentioned, a push-up is a moving plank. So I get everything lined up, tailbones tucked, abdominals engaged. I'm looking ahead slightly, my elbows point back towards my ribs, and I move through that push-up. Over time, as the push-up gets easier on this inclined surface, I wouldn't go from here down to the floor. That's going to be too much of a challenge. So I would just take that incline down a notch. Now I bring it down here. Everything else is the same. Still keeping my body in a straight line, maintaining that alignment. And then lastly, over time and with a lot of practice, our push-up comes to the floor. Tailbone tucked, glutes engaged, shoulders away from the ears, abdominals strong, and there's my push-up. Please remember, it takes time, it takes practice. It's good to do this on a regular basis. Work from a high incline, bring it to a lower incline, eventually bringing yourself to the floor. I want to go through just a couple of other options in this incline push-up. To make this more challenging, we could come forward and pause for 2 or 3 seconds and then push away. Lower slowly, pause 2 or 3 seconds and push away. This creates more time under tension. More time under tension will increase your strength. So this could help you progress to that next level. Another thing we can do here is bring in some power. So we push off and start to work those fast twitch muscles or our power muscles in that push-up. And again, that's just 2 other options of where you could progress a push-up, change your strength challenge in an incline position, and then eventually bring it down to another level and to the floor. Best of luck to you on perfecting your push-up. Thanks for joining me.